doing more where corporate greed thrives. It's the marginalized who pay the price. It's time to rewrite the story. Time to rise. We're breaking the chains of corporate greed. This is the fight, this is the need. For the poor and the voices unheard. We're the truth, we're the word. Big Canna Falls can hide the lies. From the ground up we rise. We rise.
Alright, so we're back again.
Hold on.
He's just doing the intro.
This isn't gonna get cut out. No, we're back again right now with F'nAround podcast part 2. So where we left off last time was we're now talking
with
about
Zaza.
What about our introduction?
I need a
Like full
Coca-Cola.
introduction.
Oh,
It's a new episode,
I'm
bro.
fucked up right now.
You are.
Hey, go ahead and introduce us. I can barely talk, alright?
Yeah.
Welcome back to F'nAround podcast, part 2 with Big Z and ZAZALAND, and it's Mo, Joe, Mike.
And Brittany.
I'm Brittany.
And Brittany.
And
Remember,
Brittany.
this is F'nAround with Brittany.
Yeah.
Yup.
Good job. See,
Yeah.
he got the memo.
Come on.
He definitely got the memo. He just forgot to say it the first
I
Mike
time.
forgot to
didn't
say it
get
the
the
first
memo.
time.
Mike, we need to give him the memo. I'll give him the memo.
He didn't
Yeah,
file
I
his
didn't
TPS
get
reports.
it. You know.
You don't have to like lean as much into the mic. Like, you can be a distance
It's
from.
just
You have a loud voice.
I don't check
You have a lot
my
of voice, so it
F'nAround
carries.
Like very
email too
manly.
often.
Very strong.
That's a good thing.
It is.
Probably add it to my
Can I
phone.
get a lighter?
Can we get fucking Zaza goddamn lighter, please?
We got matchboxes, we got lighters, we got
Let me get what's this?
matchbox.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Can I get a Coca-Cola too, please? Or a Shirley Temple? No, I'm for real. I'm dying. All this
I
fried
can
rice.
get you a Coke,
Please,
bro.
can you get a
I
Coke?
got you.
All this fried rice.
So
I'll go.
right,
You go get
okay.
him a Coke.
I got
He'll have a Coke then.
What is this?
Temples are serious.
I'm thinking it's about to be a
Last time we left
joints.
off with saying I can't talk about Oklahoma, so we're coming back today to talk about what other states we can talk about.
Yeah.
New York
so,
City.
So let's talk about New York City
Oh, I got
because we
thoughts
know
on
I
New
want to get
York.
into it.
Yo, you want a lighter, bro?
No, I'm gonna do this.
He's okay.
All right.
I gave y'all orange lighter earlier.
That ain't never came back. That's what he said.
Shit.
Hey, bro.
So let's get Mike. You want to get on a New York anecdote while he's getting his blunt set up?
I want to use this.
3 minutes.
All right, I got some shit to say about New York. New York's
I
overrated.
was the whole time.
I got one.
I got a lighter. Let me give it to him.
Why,
I
Mike?
watched the whole thing.
Why is it overrated?
Oh my
I was like,
God.
say something now.
Oh, all right.
He had already
You went through
gave to him,
progressions
like,
in your head.
The second one. Get him over.
Here you go.
All right, so we're gonna talk about New York, I guess, a little bit.
Yes, we are.
All right, New York kind of sucks. Yeah,
I mean,
I lived there for a few years. Nice place to visit, but
I mean,
oh my
okay.
god, to live there.
I definitely agree with you on living wise, but why personally? And I know you're more of the person that should ask the questions, but I just want to know.
Anyone's
What?
got
No,
questions
no,
here.
no.
I like your
Anybody
personal
asks a
view.
question, you want to know why?
I like
Okay,
your
I mean,
personal view.
so let's see, where can I start my shit against New York? I mean, first and foremost, they put all their garbage out in the middle of the street.
They don't have
All right.
access.
Dirty.
Right.
In their defense.
Right? So, shout out to the great Chicago Fire, right? Thank you.
There you go.
Because of that, we got Alex.
You mean Miss O'Leary?
No, she didn't do that. Bitch got railroaded. Poor woman. Poor old lady. Somebody just had to blame some shit on some immigrant. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. New York sucks, right? No, but seriously, very overrated in terms of, I'd say, food.
What?
I love your food out here.
If you could see everyone's faces right now, Mike's not making out
I
of this
thought I
room
was doing
alive.
something about
No.
you, that pizza.
Okay, so elaborate. Elaborate.
Look, I can back it up.
Elaborate.
All right, so
I ate 2 pieces of that.
so
That was the worst.
New York has so many options, right?
Okay.
So yes, New York's got some of the best restaurants in the world,
Shout
but
out to the
just the
delis.
random little spots they're a dime a dozen, and I mean, 1 in 20 is worth going back to. Okay? So,
Okay.
when I was living there, I mostly lived in Queens.
Okay.
And I don't remember the name of the place, but they had 2 locations. One was in Flushing, one was in like in Astoria or some shit. And, you know, it was just like a hot dog, burger, pizza. Well, I'll get into pizza in a second, but, you know, I mean, I was never more sick in my life from food poisoning than
You're
when I
talking
lived
like
in New
you
York.
were in India.
It fucking felt like it. All right, so I was in Flushing, Queens. You know, the not dressed up Chinatown.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
you feel like you're in another country. You're
We're
gonna
in
hear.
Flushing sometimes, so we know the area.
Yeah, I mean, there
I
are 10
love
languages
Flushing.
spoken, and none of them were English. You know, like I was the odd man out. It was hilarious.
Okay.
But yeah, man, like that was another problem I had. I was like, well, let me just go to, you know, here you can go to almost any random place in Chicago, and you're getting fire food.
And I can definitely agree with you somewhat because Chicago is way smaller. New York's barrels are. It looks small on the map, but
Oh no, I know
huge.
it's 2.5 Chicago's.
Yeah, most definitely. So you got to think about it. So think about the odds and the amount.
Mhm.
You got to weigh the variables when it comes down to that. So I agree with you on that. But I've been to a random Dominican spot and got pork chops and rice and
Look, it
peas,
can happen,
and it was good.
Right, like I said, 1 in 20
in Brooklyn, and like I mean, me and this guy have been pretty much everywhere, and then me doing my own thing too. So I mean, like I said, the Flushing area, we found some good delis
You know,
there.
the only problem with New York food is you can't be mad at a restaurant that was open. It's 5 a.m. and you got some crusty ass pizza. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking.
That's what it is.
You know, I'm talking.
feel me?
You know,
That's
barely
what-
cooked burger at 5 o'clock, and you know, something I picked up
Oh,
on
the
it.
afternoon.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm
That's
like,
eating
what,
well.
what the hell? Like,
That's
so-
you know, if you go to a late night place, you know what you're getting.
That's
Something like that.
inexcusable though. If
You know.
5 p.m. rush hour
Right.
time, that's inexcusable.
You know, and that's the other thing. You know, so the 1 in 5 and 1 in 20, sure.
I don't want
Now
to like a
all of
place.
them have pizza,
I went to a Jamaican place before
Right?
too.
and because it's such,
I don't
you
even
know,
know
of
what it's called, but
a New
it was
York
like a buffet
staple,
style. You just
right? So
went down the line.
everybody's got it.
It
I'm
was really
sorry.
good.
We can't have
And
double
that-
conversations, please.
I'm sorry. What's going on?
No,
Cut
that
me
was-
off.
Yeah, no.
You're Brittanying me.
That was my.
Do you feel that hate? That
Huh?
was so not nice.
Yeah, no.
You should say sorry.
You know
Brittany
how many
alone.
times I've
I feel
like,
like the sarcasm stamp was a little appreciated.
See?
It was like a shout out. Think about it.
Yeah.
You're lucky you have backup. Too.
So that was a shout out to our manager, sometimes guest host Brittany, because she came in during the middle of the last taping and made a whole bunch of noise.
But
In
the
turn-
noise made sense more than we do sometimes.
No, I'm talking about the doors,
And I brought a friend.
and she brought a friend who knew me and I didn't recognize her.
Which was awkward, highly awkward.
Yeah, it happens.
Sounds like most of your meetups.
I didn't.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you,
I
man.
didn't get to hear a Tinder story yet. Can you
Look,
tell us one?
I don't have a new one. That's the problem. Is
You should have more
So there
because
are
you're on a
stories.
podcast. You should have more girls trying
So
to date you.
the majority of my matches end up either being in foreign countries and they're pretending to be here.
Oh,
Passport, bro.
Okay. So there's some empathy there. Thank you. Or they're trying to get me to follow them on Instagram or subscribe to an
Cash App,
OnlyFans
though.
or what was the other one? Z?
Cash
Zaza?
App. The
Cash
Cash App.
No, nobody's asked me just for straight money. They've
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. At least
you
that
have some
They-
decent ones.
anyone asking for money, right? Any one of them asking for money, it was asking through like, oh hey, check this, link out, and it's like, OnlyFans, no
they're
thanks.
bold today. They'll just say, "This is my Cash App."
Oh, bro. No, they
And
say I need a deposit to come outside with you.
Not even. They'll say anything. Not even that. You got some money for me now?
I'll tell you, Zaza. You and I went to find you on Instagram before the show, right? And I sent you a request, but in the people in common that we had, one was Joe, and another one was one of those Tinder OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, oh yeah, hit me up on Instagram. I'll answer there. Hit me and go to Instagram. Hit me up on OnlyFans.
Hold on, Mike, pull it up. He wants to check it out.
Huh? Oh, do it.
You can pull it up.
Oh, I gotta pull it up.
Go. Don't you love how it always ends up on Tinder? No,
my page is
Instagram. Say who it is.
What is your
And you're gonna be getting big
Mike?
discounts for this one.
Yeah, lemon jello.
Did I approve you? Because there's a bunch of I got like a lot of requests. I don't even know who these people are.
I sent you one too, actually.
Man, this is.
It's probably the most recent ones.
The most recent ones.
I don't know. I got it's like over
Right,
20 recents.
There we go. I pulled it back and said her name is Straw_Bay.
What?
Straw_Bays.
Oh my god, that oh shit. I know that is.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Emily. She's talking about Emily.
Did you know her real name?
I think I did. I did think I did.
So
I'm pretty sure that's what her
fake
name
girl
was
used to be a part of the
on the
baddie.
Tinder thing. And
yeah. Oh, you found that on Tinder?
Right,
Oh,
so I
that's
matched
crazy.
with her on Tinder. And then she was like, oh, you know, like, send me your Instagram. So I went to her Instagram. We talked a little bit.
She's a raver, right?
Yeah. And, you know, look, I love a good rave, you know? But,
See, I liked you for it.
oh, yeah. We'll have some fun. What would you call it tomorrow? An event?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. But yeah, man, that's what I'm talking. Like, so I'm sorry, I don't have any like real stories. They're all. I can't say fake because they're some of them are real
You're
people,
there,
but
you're not there.
But I'm not interested in paying for any of that shit. You know, it's all fucking free. You know, if I want.
Well, you gotta subscribe with us though, because that way you get a calendar. You know what I mean?
So I don't have OnlyFans.
I like that.
It ain't gotta be an OnlyFans. We gonna make our own page, right? She gonna make it.
They're gonna call it Only Mike's.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be for you.
And then
Only Mike.
Exactly.
Only Mike.
No other mics.
No.
I'm not. Yeah.
Only one mic to the party.
Where do you get your weed from?
Unless it's like Mike Shell. Huh?
Where do you get your weed from?
Different places. Sometimes I get it from a guest.
That was so subtle, wasn't it? That was very subtle.
I mean, no, but like honestly, you know, first guest Freddie.
Yes.
Right, and then
Sam.
Sam, we didn't get any flour from Sam.
No, but you smoked all his.
Yeah, he let you smoke a lot of his stuff. What are you talking
about? We smoked a couple joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
a couple.
You know,
just a couple.
Edibles don't get me. We figured that out already, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You were just staring off into the fucking distance the whole time.
I'm all about a good deal, right? So a few weeks ago, I was up in Michigan with the family.
Oh, there you go, Michigan, bro.
And that was. Well, it's way better than going to an Illinois dispensary, which I've done.
I can agree.
You know,
I can agree.
I didn't get that far, but where was I?
Kalamazoo.
Where did you join that?
You were in New Buffalo.
New Buffalo, so I was just over the border.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like,
by the
if
water.
he's like, if you would have driven another hour and a half, 2 hours, he goes, the price would have dropped again by probably 20%.
Yeah.
Watch my drink, bro.
I got you.
All right, good.
No, we're all good here. No
All right.
technical difficulties.
Just making sure he's, navigating the minefield that we've set up for ourselves. You know, that's exactly what it is. You know, I'm surprised only 2 people spilled a drink so far. This is the most amount of people we've had on the show at one time.
I mean, look at all our mismatched glasses. Shout out to Fonz.
Definitely shout out to Fonz. He'll be on the show at some point. We got a friend. He looks like the Fonz, acts like the Fonz from
Like
that
the
show,
Fonz.
Happy Days.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't get it.
Before your time.
Happy Days.
Unless you're a little nerdy and you were into old TV or something, like because they got the channel.
Would you
Nick
say
and Knight.
would you say Fonz was a part of the pop culture or before?
He
The
was
pop
pop
culture.
He
culture.
was mainstream,
He
right?
was
Yeah.
pop
Yeah,
culture.
pop-
He
definitely
got
was
his
pop.
nickname from the high
Because it
school
was like the
dean.
late 70s, early 80s.
Oh,
That's
Yo.
pop
your
culture.
Fonz, main
I know
Fonz.
8 Fonz.
I'm saying our buddy that we call Fonz.
Yeah.
The nickname came from our high school dean.
Oh, okay.
The kid you came the first day of freshman year of school. He had his big old, Italian slick back, big hairdo, leather jacket, thick Chicago accent. Loved to kind of drop, throw the thumbs out a little. I mean, the deans were quick on it though.
So he was Italian, huh? Fonz the whole time.
Yeah, he wasn't doing it on purpose, but he definitely embraced it. I'd say he likes it.
The Grease.
I mean, I've known the guy for 20-something years, and I still can't pronounce his real last name. And in high school, I remember, teachers butchering it. Everybody, I'm like, I just call him Fonz. Or there was what did we use his middle name?
Yep.
Like,
We all
we
use
used
his middle
his
name.
middle
Might as well go right
Because you
there,
guys
'cause he
couldn't
not-
pronounce his name
Sit up
either.
there, Lucha. Yeah, because my homie had to go.
Oh, okay. So we lost somebody, and we're
Moving on.
switching. We're playing musical chairs for a second.
No worries. Well, while we're playing musical chairs, let's get into New York.
I mean,
Our anecdotes went to the side, but let's get to the point.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So look, I dogged New York. What did I dog?
what you thought about New York City?
I dogged
the
New
food.
York food.
Yeah.
And what else did I say was shitty about New York?
He was about to get into New York weed now. The business.
Okay, well, New York weed is way better than Chicago weed.
Oh, why's that?
Yes.
Chicago marijuana against New York marijuana.
That's for sure.
I was
New York is like they get every flavor, every strand is being go through New York before it goes anywhere else.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's
So-
like fashion. You know what I mean? It's the marketing for everything. So it's cheaper over there in a way. Over here, they're not used to spending a lot of money on good stuff. In New York, they'll go broke wearing clothes. It's a part of their culture. So it's like that with marijuana too. Like an average New Yorker would make sure he get his weed stash and his flyness and take the train every day. More than a Chicago do.
I got to agree with you there. The
You
New
know.
York weed men, I think we talked about it a little bit. I don't know if we were recording at the time, but so when I first went to New York, I remember hitting up one of my friends from high school who was living there at the time or had lived there at some point. And I was like, I need a number. I'm here for work. Give me a phone number. She sent me the number. She said, just say Skittles when they pick up. I'm like, all right. So I said, I called from, whatever hotel I was at. And I said, Skittles. They said, where you at? Told them the hotel. They're like, all right, somebody's going to call you in 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I got a phone call. Guy on a bike. Got his bike outside my hotel room. And he's like, what are you guys looking for? So he pulls out this, tackle box, that you would take fishing. And he just, every little cube had a different bag in it, and he
Yeah.
was just going off and naming what they were and whether they were indica, sativa,
Sativa.
hybrids. These are middies,
Yeah.
these are kush. And
It's a Kama Sutra thing now. Like everybody in New York, they come up with different style and techniques. Like unbelievable shit. They're into it. Like people in Oakland and stuff, they might got good weed, but their style isn't impeccable like a New York style.
Right.
They push it behind it and make it look nice and like
Put a lot of thought into
a lot of style came from New York. I feel like it just came back to New York again right now with a lot of the baggy clothes and stuff like that, and they make it popular too. Like these boxes, not Chicago going crazy with the boxes, And it's the only thing about New York, like Chicago law, is like the New York law. It doesn't allow dispensaries to carry any cool looking bags and stuff like that.
fuck, you're right. I noticed that.
Yeah, because they changed the law to where you could have these bags, and it's appealing to the kids. So what that do is it stopped a lot of sales. Because when the bags and stuff look cool, it's a trendy thing. People want to buy it or whatever.
Yeah, I'd say the closest I get from at least an Illinois dispensary, I forget the name of the brand, but it's a vape cartridge brand, and with the cartridge there's a sticker inside the plastic, right? And sometimes it's like I think I got a sticker. It was like a Snoop sticker, and whatever the strand was.
Yeah.
But that was the most you could really get. Most everything else is just the names written, or they can maybe do some wild colors on the package that you're getting, but for the most part it's all muted. Well, maybe you get some gold lettering, but it's on a gray fucking background.
Like only in California they allow that. That's what drives like the wrapper weed is always in fancy packaging. So when they did it in California, a lot of people tend to go to the dispensary, and that's usually the streets that's doing that, and that's what makes the dispensary pop. They go get the people from the streets and throw it into their dispensary. So people from the streets that go to the dispensary too, instead of because they carry street products, and the people from the street want the street product. So they'll do a deal with that brand to legalize it, to bring it into the dispensary and carry their strains and whatever else they got going on. And New York, they put a stop to it because like the packaging and stuff that is not allowed there. Like cookies was changed to Culture House because the word cookies was appealing to the kids.
But also cookies, like so many others. I mean, you ever been on one of those like bootleg Amazon type websites?
Yeah.
What was like one of them? Temu, or it was another one was
Alibaba.
Alibaba. Well, that's a bit. So yeah, I can go. Probably Alibaba is maybe the one where I saw it, where you could buy cookies bags. You could buy
a bootleg though.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the average person doesn't know the fucking difference.
That's
true. They see like I think I bought a cookies thing, or I forget what I bought, but I knew it was cookies, and then somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that's the most bootleg fucking brand on the planet right now." Like, of course it's cookies, like, "Oh really?" Like, I'm like, "All right," like, now I kind of feel like an asshole. So I felt more comfortable going to dispensaries, feeling like at least better about what I was getting. But anytime I got, when I've got a good, a good weed man to go to, a good local weed man that I can support, I go to it.
Yeah.
Support your local weed man.
You gotta support your local weed man.
For sure.
So I know he's touched on it and you've touched on it, but that's what we were originally connected on when you and I first met in Logan Square was the cookie story. I kind of want to hear it now because we've been talking about you're going to bring it up.
So like,
and don't say anything you can't say. We don't want to get you in trouble.
You need the water?
When there was a clothing store, it was called Cookies.
Okay.
And when they got their license to become Cookies, they couldn't keep that name. And they had to change it to the Culture House. But the whole point of being Cookies was, paying them whatever amount of money they were paying for the franchise, get cut off because, like, we're not calling you Cookies no more, it's Culture House. But they're riding the wave of Cookies still. Like,
right.
They might have a couple of logo inside, or they kept the C. It looks like the, you know what I mean?
Like the fonts, or maybe somewhere else.
And they're riding that wave.
Right.
And they're also gatekeeping, because they control, every dispensary look up to them, And a lot of the brands look at them as competition too. Because, they like to gatekeep a lot of things. Like, they would throw events, and they're able to do shit like with their event. They're able to sell weed.
Right.
We was a throwing event, and they find out we were selling weed, like they don't know, or the people behind it, they get fired, and then they wouldn't share our shit, but they'll share their shit. Now they still take the money from us to throw the event.
So they'll let you throw the parties and put it out there, but then they're gonna stab you in the back for it.
Stab you in the back anyways, and that's what I felt like they did,
We went to, what was the name of the event? Best in Grass a couple weeks ago. And they had vendors in there selling, right? Only a couple of them were actually selling, but like, I've heard a lot from, this dude being in the industry for a little bit, and, other people, about how extravagant and nice these parties and conventions and award shows are supposed to be. I was so disappointed, man. You know, in the amount of junk that the vendors were peddling.
We're here in Illinois.
Yeah, we was at
Park West.
Park West, the concert venue over there.
So, like, if you guys did a pop up with a brand and they heard about it and you're selling stuff, they'll shut you down. But they can go to this venue and they can sit there as dispensaries and sell their product, which is 100% illegal in the state. And they're allowing them to do it at the Best in Grass competition, where you can just go in there and buy any product.
Because they pick it and choose it.
Yeah.
Right.
So the state allows them to do that, and they let them throw an award show. Yet anybody else can't do that. They'll get charged.
It's like buying a gun at a gun show. Like, this dude pulled out a box of 20 fucking disposable pens, and he's like, "Yeah, here, we're selling these. These are on sale today." I'm like, you can't legally buy that in Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not asking me for any sort of credentials. You didn't need a credential to get into this event, but you know, and I mean, had I not already been to Michigan a couple of weeks earlier, I might have picked up on that, just because it was a deal, a really good deal, and you know that your max on concentrates in Illinois is 5 grams from a dispensary, and then they all share computer systems, so it's not like you can go somewhere else. Whereas when I was in when I was in New Buffalo, I asked the guy as soon as I got to the front of the line, I'm like, "Hey man, how much can I get?" He goes, "How much cash you got?" It's like, shit. He goes, "I can walk pounds out the door if you want, just different receipts." I was like, that is so wild. And he's like, "Yeah man, we care about our customers up here." He's like, "Illinois, they're just all about the taxes, and they're fucking over everybody that's connected to the industry that's not corporate."
They don't want no one to have exotic out here either, though. They want to stop that. You know, they don't want like high potency marijuana.
Well, now they're starting to tax on the THC percentage.
Well, but here,
that's the newest Illinois law.
If you're above 35%, they hit you with the higher tax.
That's like, it don't make no sense. Yeah. Like, why would you do that? You know,
money.
Right. I mean,
they allow them to do that.
Like, we were looking at product one of the last interviews where it was 0% THC and 41% THCA, and they're still charging the percentage increase. And the dispensaries are selling that at 40-some% THCA and 0% THC out there with the taxes for cannabis.
They do. Yeah, they don't want nobody to be better than the bigger corporation that can afford it.
Is anybody else here? Not so high that they want to chime in on this, or is it just going to be the three of us talking? I'm just curious. I'm looking around the room right now, and I'm seeing a lot of stony baloney.
A lot of smiles.
Why think we all got shades on? You know what I mean? We was ready for this.
How do you think I'm not facing the camera? I got my Zaza eyes.
Yeah. You feel me?
That's all you need.
Yeah, we're pretty lit, man. We had a busy day. Like, some of us had parties and photo shoots, and so we're beat right now.
And we appreciate you being here for this.
We do. You were talking earlier about just a lot of the we're at the festivals, we're doing this, we're doing that. That is probably about 95% of what we are trying to do with this, and we figure 6 months. We're ahead of where we thought we would be at this point. We're like, nobody's going to listen to this, but let's just throw it out there and see what happens, right? And a bunch of people really are locking onto it. So like, that's what we want to do. We want to get, mics, go out in the field, interview people, get into the trenches.
Become part of the culture.
Yeah.
Part of the culture. Yeah. Why not?
So I just gotta say, mad respect for actually pulling it off.
You gotta get hands on. You gotta get into the streets.
Yeah, I think you're our new goal. No, what's that? New squad goal is, ZAZALand.
Yeah, why not?
On your way to ZAZALand.
You just won the Super Bowl. Where are you going? I'm going to ZAZALand.
I didn't have time to go get merchandise.
No worries.
You feel me? So, I'll make sure I come
We'll
through
rock 'em.
dress
I mean, look, dude, we're so new. We don't even have merchandise yet.
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
still
like,
working on that too.
you know,
merchandise
that's,
is key because it's
Yeah.
like
oh, we know.
you gotta buy something like
You know,
look.
you got this hat. We ironed this on.
Oh, that's dope still, though.
You know,
See, look, I could sell you a comic book for $80 and they give you a free eighth. You know, and I get not get in trouble. You know, that's the method of having merchandise, especially at pop-ups. How I can sell my weed legally. Of course, you know, police will still lock us up here in Illinois, but in New York,
You
can
don't
get
have a
away with
license. You don't have a
it.
license
You
to
don't have a
crook people.
license. Exactly, but you know, in
But
New
what
York,
about- so I remember before I moved away and I would come here, I would go to like all kinds of street fests, right?
yeah.
And I remember there were always like groups of people that would go out there selling weed lollipops.
Yeah.
And I never believed it because the cops were never going after them. Right? So I figured it had to be some sort of bullshit and the cops knew it was bullshit. But they're selling to all these idiots at all these drunk idiots at, Lincoln Fest or, not even Taste of, I don't know if they were Taste of Chicago, but it would have been, like the smaller neighborhood fest, like
Yeah.
Roscoe Village Burger Fest or shit like
Yeah.
that. They'd pull up with the van says like weed candy or something
Yeah,
on
they
it,
pass them out.
and then you'd be like, oh yeah, hey, we'll do 3 for $10, and it's just I never trusted it.
It was fake.
But that's what I mean. Like that's why it was it was fake.
Yeah.
The cops weren't busting them, but
And what's that? Delta 8, stuff like that.
right. But this was even before the
because
hemp was legalized by the
Delta
Fed.
8 had been around.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was just they knew it first.
Okay.
So
So
it's
where
like,
would it be in the timeline with like what's the other shit called K2 and
K2 was like 20 years ago.
We're old, man.
20 years ago.
no, I'm
fuck
just
is
saying
K2?
like in
What's
the
K2?
K2
Oh,
was
you
like
young mother.
it was like a little leaf.
That
It was like some
crazy
shit they used to
shit
sell
right
at the corner store, and people was just getting. I don't know why they legalized it at first.
They were tripping.
People were getting so high off it. And like,
I didn't.
now they found liquid K2 and they're sending it to prison, and then people are
Yeah,
getting
that's
high
crazy.
off of it in prison
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, some old
It's like-
hippie told me about it at like a Christmas party.
Is it
What
it
type
like
of
a
Christmas party were
different
you
like?
at?
Is it like
Oh, it
a
was a,
different
Ignatius
part of like
Christmas
weed or
party.
something? What is it? Like,
Synthetic.
It's a
it's
synthetic,
a synthetic weed. Oh shit.
They make like liquid K2 now too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
drops. And so it's like, however they made the little bud looking thing, is now they can also just make water, and then you just put you pour it on paper and smoke it. Pieces of paper. It's crazy.
So what states are you guys in?
Just New York in here. We was in Oklahoma
Officially.
City. Yeah, we're trying to get to California next year though. Like I gotta go a bone to pick with those brands out there. Like I got a lot of those brands rich. I was a dude. They just sit in Hollywood, and I used to just come across the plane and then bring shit back. You know what I mean? To make a
George
point.
Young style.
Yeah,
RV pack.
every way, any way we can. RV,
Rest in
bus,
peace.
plane, box, however you wanna. You know what I mean?
Joe's
COVID.
friends with George Young was.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
You're
Alright,
from,
P.
you're from Brooklyn, right?
No, I'm from right here.
Oh, you're from
I'm
right here,
from
right?
Taylor Street, Little
Okay.
Italy.
Little Italy.
Oh shit. Okay.
I like this neighborhood. I want
So
to
do
open up a weed shop around here, like a legal dispensary.
Only problem is with the high school here and then all the grade
No,
schools,
that's
it's
cool.
really
My
hard to
daughter-
get the
My daughter
zoning.
go to high school over here. It's good. I know.
Those zoning things get a little crazy.
Well, we're not selling to the kids, We're
You're
yeah.
not giving them
We're
Just
not
their,
selling to the
their,
kids.
their teachers, their nannies, their parents.
Everybody who knows them.
They
It's a
can
good
go
place
rifling
just
through
to
their
have
parents'
all,
dressing
you know?
for it.
Well, we get the customers around here. You know what I mean? A lot of people here that goes to the dispensary and everything too. They could be coming to us. Like what I do in Chicago, I like to go in certain areas and get like an apartment and build clientele from the area, contacts for a year, and then move to another area and have them on my phone line. So I have like 500 contacts on the phone. Then I can spread the contacts around and build somewhere else. So it's like a scheme pattern. You go
Right.
collect as much clientele as you can, and then you supply and demand, and then you put people in those locations to sell to those people that you used to sell to. You know, you supply them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what makes like ZAZALAND, I guess. You know, it's a drug route.
Well, after today, I don't think I'm going to another Illinois dispensary.
No,
You going to ZAZALAND?
I think ZAZALand's the
I'm gonna give you
place
one
for
of those
me.
boxes.
Yeah, ZAZALand. You know,
It'd be nice to get one right over here at Taylor.
So in a hypothetical world, if you wanted to do your ZAZALand, logistically, how does that work? Hypothetically speaking.
What do you mean?
What would you need?
Right. What would you need to
Infrastructure.
hypothetically?
Would this question be more directed to what was your name again?
Treya?
Does she remember her name?
I don't remember my name.
I don't. That's why I was kind of hoping you'd say it again.
Yeah, so legal wise, I guess we need a license to cultivate here.
Yeah.
And that way we could actually drop this for all dispensaries to buy. But honestly, like, out of all the brands in Illinois, I don't see another brand with like actual culture and like actually doing events and actually being for the people. Like, I mean, I do see it, but not that often.
I see it with actual dispensaries. You know, you see them hanging out and trying to do stuff in the community. You know,
you said trying.
Well, because all right, I work for a nonprofit and we help kids with disabilities. That's my day job.
Wouldn't picture that, would you?
Hey, you know.
Hey, that's my day job. But I'm saying is like we've had a dispensary want to donate for specific events, right? And like, oh, but it's like, oh, well, not this one because, you know, there's going to be kids there or, you know, it's about the kids. But, you know, we got this other event coming up. It's all adults. It's, you know, comedy show or it's,
that's cool.
You know, a fashion show or something. We had a fashion show today.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it was, you know, it was cool. And, you know, the kids love it. You know, and it just kind of, it really changed the entire atmosphere in the office, though. It was suddenly okay to talk about it, you know, because yeah, it's legal, but federally it's not, and it's still somewhat taboo, especially in a workplace, right? So you know, nobody's getting high at work, but people are now.
But now you know that people do get high and go to work.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was going to ask you to shout out your nonprofit in case people wanted to look into it.
Oh yeah, it's the Good Shepherd Center.
Okay.
You know, Hazel Crest, Illinois. There's a lot of places called Good Shepherd. We're not a church or religiously affiliated, but they've been around for 60-something years.
I do, like me, I do a lot of give backs too, you know, like we're going to do a toy drive this year.
We got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got we had that fashion show today, which was like pirate themed. We had some like Jack Sparrow dude come and fuck around, do that shit. What are the?
He's starting to go to Zaza again.
a little bit. I'm a little bit there. No. I'm just trying to like talk about this without like, you know, shouting out people that don't want shouted out.
That's true.
But so somebody did have like a little issue with the actor, and like she was like, watch out, the actor is a little R-rated. And we're like, well, yeah, it's supposed to be Jack Sparrow. You know, I wouldn't expect him to be, you know, too much PG.
Right.
But, you know, I guess he put a spoon in his mouth with ice cream on the end of it and fed some lady while he sat on her lap. Yeah.
That's a little more than R.
Right. And I mean, that was, so like, she told me that, and then she's like, you know, going through her phone, she's like, you got to see she's like, well, that's not the picture. That's not she's taking all these pictures of the guy with all kinds of other people. And she finally gets to it, and she's like, look, he sat on my, you know, whoever's lap and fed her ice cream with a spoon hanging out of his mouth. I was like, that is kind of weird. I'll admit, like, I'm not, you know, even for a Jack Sparrow, I think I don't even know if Johnny Depp would do something that kind of weird. Like, to strangers.
That's more of an Amber Heard thing.
You know? Oh, yeah, right? No kidding. That's a whack thing. I forget where that tangent came from. Brittany, where was I before I went off on that tangent?
I don't know, because you were talking about Amber Heard, and
I did not talk about Amber
I
Heard.
was not trying to go.
Allegedly, that was the person next to me. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't listening. I wasn't there.
No, but you guys talked a lot about logistics, and so like for the viewers, right? Like, you know, hypothetically, and you guys talked a lot about they too, right? Like when it comes to like they are gatekeeping or they're like, what does that even mean? Like who's they? Who's like holding the industry back?
What?
The gatekeeping part?
Yeah.
Does anybody else remember that conversation? That was a
I
while
do.
ago.
I have a didactic memory. I remember.
So
everything.
gatekeeping is like, you know, not allowing you to get to where you need to get, and you're able to get
Diabolical
them there,
memory,
you know?
maybe.
Like a lot of the, like say for instance, if the Culture House shed light on our pop up, we might have had a little bit more revenues and doors open for us. Instead, they didn't allow that, you know. But they took our money, so you know that's not. I don't think it's not nice, you know what I mean? It's like they could have been more righteous.
So how do you change that? Like, what is the solve?
You can't change it. That's just what it is. It's gonna be crooked people in workplaces. Some people that don't deserve the checks that they're gonna get the checks.
But don't we elect those people?
No, I mean,
It takes
yeah.
people taking chances.
Yeah,
You know,
not
that's,
a lot of people are
you know,
willing to take
whether
chances now.
elected officials or, you know, influencers or whatever, you know, taking a chance, doing something that, hey, I don't know if too many people are going to like this, you know, I mean, it's how you got to start it somewhere, right? Like, hey, we started.
Like on a podcast.
Right, or a podcast, or well, I was going to go with like, you know, Florida just shot down recreational marijuana, right?
It's 60%, and they only got 56.
Right, but
True
how-
Leaf lost 150 million plus trying to buy one amendment.
Yeah,
Look at that waste of money. I mean, can you
Yeah.
imagine 150 million dollars for an amendment in a state? Like,
They could have bought so many schools.
look how many things they could have done or support. They spent 150 million dollars on that, and they still couldn't get it through. And all you need is the people's support. So
Where
instead
the
of
money go?
instead of getting the people's support, they're just trying to buy politicians, right?
Exactly.
Politicians don't do the vote. It's the people that do the vote. You want
Right.
the people to vote. Show them you care and support, right?
Yeah, need leaders in the community.
But like you said, it was, how much was it?
150 plus.
No, the percentage that it,
They needed 60% for approval. They got 56.
56 this time. What was it the last time it was on a ballot? I mean, I don't know, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying, every time you got to start somewhere because every time it gets a little closer, right? Now, I don't agree with the corporate pay-to-play bullshit when it comes to, you know, big canna and politicians, and you know, they're basically the tobacco industry, the auto industry, the alcohol industry. You know, that's like, remember that movie Thank You for Smoking?
Oh, yeah.
You know, get another chair there for canna lobby. You know,
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying is like, you know, you can't do that way, but you know, you start somewhere. Hey, we had 10% the first time. Oh, now it got a little better, 20%, and now you're up to 56.
But sadly,
Maybe next time it's on a Florida ballot, it gets through this time
but
because
sadly, when you have majority control of a state and you have all your stuff there and you're a publicly traded company and you're banking on it for your stock price, the longer you wait, the more it's going to tank. So
Oh, absolutely.
doesn't mean they can survive till the next
Oh, yeah.
election or what's going on because
fuck whatever corporate assholes are losing money right now to
Yeah.
it.
no, I know.
Awesome.
I'm just saying though, if you're doubling down on those bets, you should have doubled down on the people.
Right, and that's, I mean, because that's where the power is. You know, like any asshole freshman state rep can introduce a bill. You know, that's basically how the system works. That's why it's cool like that. You don't need to spend all that money on the guys who are writing the thing. You need to spend it on the people who are going to vote for it. You know, but well, what are you going to do?
And then sometimes the states can't even do it. Did you guys see this week with California, where California state said they can't protect you against the federal government? So you know how in Illinois, the government's not coming in, shutting down your locations?
Yeah.
In California, they're starting to burn their crops, destroy their facilities, and take all their stuff.
Yeah.
And the California government said they're not going to step in and do something because it's still federally illegal.
Yeah.
Notice how they're just targeting the West Coast on that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they always were.
I
You
know,
know,
but it's,
I remember
how many times have they redone the license process now where they're trying to make it better so that it's not happening, and the government's still stepping in and saying, "Hey, screw you guys." When they started this for the rest of the country, didn't they?
Yeah, because
I mean,
you know that's where all the crops coming from.
right?
So they try to
The
destroy
Golden
that.
Triangle.
So the order to do that is to take them out first. You know, everywhere else is controllable almost. California and Maine, but California is even more worse because you know they're looking past everything over there.
Yeah, I mean, you ever look at California on a map?
About
Anybody?
like the size of it? Or
Yeah.
No, just all right. So we all think San Francisco is like north, right? And you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It's only like halfway up,
Yeah,
right? It's a little over halfway up. The
Exactly.
rest is fucking wilderness.
yeah,
A lot of hemp fields out there.
A lot of mountains. Is what I'm, a lot of
Yes.
and that's where Humboldt and all those places are. But I mean, I don't know. I think it sucks that it's basically just trying to keep the DEA in employees with jobs.
No, I don't think
You
it's
know?
that. I think it's the fact that, as he said, it's
They wanna
supplying.
they want to stop the weed, the high potency weed to come to Chicago, New York, because the market is like that. In New York, when they opened up smoke shops and they was using that method of slinging bud out of the smoke shops,
Mm-hmm.
they was able to have the California brands in there. You go in there, get the Jungle Boys or whatever, and then that'll put the dispensaries out of business. Dispensaries, they can't even have a cool brand unless they backdoor it into their shelf.
And give it a different name.
Yeah,
or
not
whatever.
even, because that actual brand, the box and stuff, how it looked would be in the dispensary too, and they just didn't care, you know. But now it was tighter. They changed the law though, and where you couldn't have those cool boxes no more out there, so that changed the dynamics of everything. But it left it to the streets. They closed all the smoke shops down, so like the smoke shops, they don't have no more weed in there. So now the dispensary got it, but the black market is booming even more for people like me because we're the ones who will have better weed than the dispensary and the cool looking boxes. You know what I mean, for half the price.
And in a place like this, not 35% tax on,
Exactly.
and I think that's, if, in a way, could you say that, I don't know, the way Illinois is running it is good for the black market business?
No, it ain't, because
No.
we're still whatever they're doing is still putting an effect to us because there are dispensaries everywhere. You know, one thing it's the streets too at the same time because Chicago are known for like vicious shit or whatever. And it's like there's more yuppies. The gentrification has changed to where there's more white people living in these neighborhoods that's able to walk.
don't care about the
They want to walk right up
tax,
to the streets. They
right.
don't care about the culture. They don't want to come in there and buy this and then go back to their and eat their Starbucks and whatever the fuck they do. So it's not. You see what I mean? And so it's like it's different from me going into a spot buying it, appreciating shit than to them. So they're catering to them in our own neighborhoods that being cleaned up. So it's like, see, that's the difference,
Yeah, no, that's cool, because I asked because, one of my thought sort of was, all right, well, you got back in, let's say you're hypothetically an older person, right?
Yeah.
You smoked when you were in high school or something, and now shit's legal, and you're like, hey, I'm going to, try weed again, right? You like it. But you don't like the taxes that you're getting at the Illinois dispensary, right? So then you find out that your neighbor's got a guy.
Yeah.
Right, and you start going to that guy, and then now that guy's got a new customer, and the dispensary lost one.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I was thinking it went, just because of how high the taxes are here. But
No,
basically, what
it's-
you're telling me is that's not what's happening.
Yeah, the streets is people are like there's more yuppies.
All right, so we're losing another Zazie.
So the one thing about the streets is about the community, and being in a dispensary, you're always gonna get more people because you're a walking business. Now drug dealers are hidden, so that's what makes that you're gonna be, dominant in the streets anyways.
I assumed most of the people in line with me that were buying these, pounds out the door, as the guy was telling me, that they're turning around and selling it on the black market here.
Yeah, there's I know some dispensaries that's like there could be no way this trash is in here. Like this shit's probably molded and by the way that it look, I'm not gonna say what brand it was, but I had to buy some shit from the dispensary and it was like this greenhouse, you know what I mean? This is not indoor. It's just dry. It's probably this is like the beginning of the recreational though, so it got a little better though. But there's no comparison when the streets weed is always gonna be better because we're bringing it as exotic from a different area. I'm bringing you a high climate marijuana capital to your side of the town. That's what's making it foreign. You know what I mean? So that's also exotic to go get the weed they got at the dispensaries here.
Right.
So it's like, but at the end of the day, a lot of people we're not exposed to, and it's the yuppies too. They don't want to get weed from people from the streets. That's just what it is.
Right.
There's more people here that's like law-abiding citizens. People that obey law that waited till it became legal to start smoking than it was. Just because the culture here, it's kind of dry in Chicago. The culture here ain't the same like other places where they hold stuff with value. They got festivals and stuff, but it's like even that is segregated. I go to the Italian fest; it's all Italian people. I go to the taco fest; it's a little bit of everything, but it's more majority.
I was at both those places. I'm neither one.
Yeah, but me too. Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's a little different vibe.
I felt more comfortable going with one. That's why.
Oh, got it.
See, that's what
you just use me because I'm Italian.
You're not with one. It's a little different.
Right.
Even the detectives are different.
People look at you.
Yeah, they look at what I'm saying. So that's Chicago. That segregation has a lot to do with things too. They let the neutral people on the streets be able to sit in their own world, which is the yuppie world. Andersonville people, or there's no way they can infiltrate a line to find ZAZALAND, unless I force it in their face.
Right.
On the streets,
So talking about forcing their face, how are you marketing and getting it out there to people then? If you're
Everywhere.
talking about their yuppies going
Right,
just
the pop-ups, right?
There too. I go to pop-ups. I load it on the
Sells,
streets. I'm everywhere. I'm in Wrigleyville, Boys Town.
A hat, and you
A
get
hat,
a free
I'm
bag.
giving out
Right?
hats. I'm doing everything to get the promotion going. Like I go to every pop-up I can. I go to every corner I can, every party I can, or I know somebody there. I'm giving out hats or whatever it is that's a part of the marketing to get in there. I started off selling weed on the streets before there was an internet. I was able to get rid of shit. The internet is just a plus, and once I get my hands completely in it, I think I'll do good. Mainstream. But internet, you're not selling a lot of weed. You're selling the brand. Like the content, the way we living, what we doing, and what we wearing. So that's because marijuana not everybody like marijuana. A lot of people look upon it. You know what I mean? So that's why we took the weed leaf out of the logo from ZAZALAND to make it more friendly. People hear the word Zaza, they feel still. But some people never heard of Zaza.
Right.
Like an Italian family or something. You hear Zaza, you don't even think of it as something that's bad.
I think of it as pizza.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Slices up, man.
Exactly. So
Right.
you feel me? So it's like, and it sounds more fancier. So like I said, it's a lingo. That box. Well, because
Barstool Sports.
the Godzilla is Zazilla, because there was a movie coming out. I think it was the King of the Monster, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh,
So
that was so good.
Yeah, then I just made a theme out of it because I figured it will sell with the gimmick. So I instead of Godzilla, it was Zazilla, King of the Za. You feel me? And then we gonna do the monster theme. One of my homies in New York City, he got an 8 brand. We're about to drop a collab box at a pop-up called Packaging Wars. And,
What's it called?
Packaging Wars. And it's where who got the best fanciest boxes get the window, whatever, And we gonna come with the the Funko box with the Turtzilla versus the ape.
You know what you got to do? You got to get a wolf one too, and they can redo Rampage. Remember the arcade game?
Too, yeah.
Get a wolf brand too. You got the wolf. You got the gorilla.
Yeah,
you got
so that's what they're doing now. It's like a gimmick. They wanna get a free keychain. Like it's a Happy Meal. That's the thing, and it's just not getting to Chicago. Like there's other people bring other brands here. I'm bringing my own brand. That's the difference. Like they're trying to it's nothing for anybody to make the box. Like I got my box. It's different. It's not from China. It's not local. It is local. Like I found a friend from Comic Con that was making the Nintendo boxes, and they're out of business, but they still have the machine. So I got them to do my boxes, and then from there, I've been doing the boxes. Does look like
an old video game box.
It is a video game box.
To me, it looks like a cross between a video game box
and
a
Super Nintendo box.
Like a Nintendo 64.
It is. Yeah. And I took the pattern and just sent the artwork, and then he made the boxes. Well, because in New York, they call them cereal boxes. Everybody's doing.
We haven't seen that in Chicago too, though.
Yeah, no one.
Like at all.
There's like a few online, but they're probably buying like a £quarter worth and having like 50 boxes. Like I'm doing like 1,000 boxes at a minimum drop. Mm-hmm. So it's like it is different, but I'm slowly bringing it down here more. So now every time you're gonna get a gimmick. Like we got a drop I'm doing next week, where you get a free gram of shrooms with the eighth you buy in a cereal box, a candy box. You feel me? So it's like I figure you start doing the gimmick.
You got the box, the prize inside the box.
Yeah, you get a prize.
So you buy this collective memorable box, and there's a surprise inside.
Exactly. Not just a sticker. We're gonna give you something. You feel me? More than a sticker. We're gonna give you something. We're gonna give you, if it's a keychain or. I want to, yeah, why not? Big's off of there. You feel me? I'd be better than Daly. Yeah. Like, he left a nasty taste in Chicago.
I've heard.
So, but I definitely would. I'm not into politics, though. Like, I left that part of my life alone. Like, I see, but it's me. I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm a weed activist. Like, but my thing is.
But see, like, you hit a good point. Because what you're describing is so complicated and hard for you, and it could be so easy.
It is.
Right? And it's a small group of people that made it so hard, and then how do you unwind that?
No. We're hitting an hour right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta wrap up.
So just high level bullet points.
I don't know. I can't tell you. It just happened, like.
Because you have a good brand. Right, you have good packaging.
Yeah.
You know it in and out.
Yes.
I mean, somebody like you should have a whole, empire.
I'm building an empire right now.
Well, obviously.
On the low.
What I mean. Like, you could be a lot further, a lot faster.
I say we just really started the brand not even 2 years ago, and we do this shit from like street revenues. I think once we get to like little endorsements here and there, it'll give us a boost. That's why we do all these little publicity shit, like we just did a pop back cookies, about to do a toy drive, shit like that. We do a lot of things that's gonna give us that endorsement, because it takes a lot to put the marketing out there. It costs hundreds of thousands, so it's like. I don't want to come in the game with a 85-15% deal unless it's a payout for my brand. My goal is to sell the brand, not to keep it. You feel me? Like, if they offer me a certain amount of number, I'm going to sell it. We'll get in the blueprint, and I'm going to go to something else. And I'm going to build again, and I'm going to be to keep it going. Or I might just retire from that, and hopefully it's a lot of money because, like I said, all this shit came from the dirt. So it's not like, we're getting endorsements right now. And I'm pretty sure we all put our money together, which we're doing now. It's going to take us somewhere with a better walk-in approach to be like, well, we want 85%. We just need your 50% distributed. You feel me? And you get this much because we got to hold our own weight. It's like Master P coming in with a record deal. Like I got my own enterprise, and I'm able to come at you like a Shark Tank deal because like, this is what I'm doing right now, once they step behind me, I'll be in a larger, you know, more exposure to sell more shit. That's where I need them at. But like right now, I feel like somewhere down the line I'm gonna get that endorsement because no matter what, you can't just spend. I don't spend a lot of money into my brand, but most of the money spent is on re-up and selling weed. So regardless, I was making money anyways. You know, I could took like half my profit from selling weed and just flood it into my brand. You know, which what I did plenty of times. So it's no loss. This shit came from the dirt. It was free to me at the end. It just took my brains to get behind it to make the formula happen. So it's no loss anyways, you know. Yeah, I lived a good life. To me, I feel like I won already. Especially if I was to stand on a platform in Chicago and then to look at the other brands, I would know I would shit on them. And that right there gives me my own inspiration. I'm going to come with the baddest bitches. I'm going to come with the righteous dudes. And we all going to look good because we a pop-up brand, which is pop culture shit too. And we got a lot of fashionness in our brand. So we going to stand out. So we going to come to the cannabis industry different. And that right there is like me winning. And if I could show that to the world, I know I'll win more. And that's when this exposure and this talk shit will take you further down in life. If this shit pop, they'll hear my story. They gonna tell you to get Big ZA back on the air. That it's gonna cost, you know. You feel me? Y'all hear that? And that's fact.
That's a strong
Right.
report.
I think that's a good place for us to stop. You know,
You know,
we can take a break.
I'm ready to leave.
All right. With that, Big ZA moving on to the next level.
I want to thank Big ZA for coming out.
Hey, the next time we see Big ZA, it's gonna be bigger ZA.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. I like that.
If I don't come, Lil ZA gonna be here. Teach you how to be a spokesman. You feel me? But yeah,
we appreciate you guys coming out and having on. We know it's really late. We ran a long day, but thank you for giving us the information, and everything. We're looking forward to talking again. And wait, do you want to shout out your next pop up or what you're doing? By the time this airs, it probably won't do it. But if you want to still say it.
I mean, the Big Apple Comic Con, if y'all in New York, November 23, look for ZAZALAND. We're going to be definitely in the building. I'm going to have a couple of models with us. You know, we're going to have the platform for the OnlyFans sooner or later.
Mike will be first in line.
Yes.
You saw it coming.
We're going to give you a calendar. We're going to pass out some calendars to y'all. Make sure we'll have it hang up. Do some sponsorship, you know. I see I got the Batman. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
I've been feeling like Batman lately. You know,
I'm a big Batman
crime fighter at night, especially in New York City. But the only thing is, I don't fight the crime. I just watch.
You supply it.
Yeah, I do. I'm like Batman.
Batman.
Bagman.
The bag.
Bagman too. You know,
Oh,
the box man, Badman, whatever, paper box, plastic. Get it how you know what I mean. But yeah.
So with that, this was F'nAround podcast with
Mo, Mike, and Joe,
and
Brittany.
and Brittany.
You always forget me.
Just you always are around here, you know.
I
You gotta come by on more often. Just shout out and thank you for Odyssey Studios production for supplying the equipment.
Oh yeah, obviously, Odyssey. All right.
This is F'nAround at the Clover Club signing out.
Bye guys.
The Multi Club.
Sounds good.